Yes, Python, what's good people? We are back again. So lately I've been seeing this craze that's going around called Draw My Life, and I've seen quite a few videos, and I thought it's actually inspired me to do my own version for the people out there who would like to see how I first came about into music and whatnot, and just generally about my life. Um, So before I do start, I do just have to say you'll have to excuse the drawings because A, I'm left-handed, and B, I'm really not a good drawer. So apologies if you have trouble making out what the pictures are or whatever. But here it is, people. It's Python, and I'm going to draw my life. Okay, so before I do start, I do just want to say I hope nobody tries to hang themselves after seeing this video or anything like that. I know it does have some dark sides to it, but I am just telling my story, and I've got to tell it exactly how it is without holding anything back. So I hope you guys can actually see the brighter side of it at the end and try to refrain from getting all depressed and whatnot. But here it goes. Okay, so Python was born in December. Growing up, from the earliest memories that I have, I don't really remember having a bad childhood. From what I do remember, I have good memories. Growing up in just a traditional way. If you do wrong, you get hurt. If you don't hear, you must feel. That old saying. But I don't remember having any real bad memories, to be honest with you. Just a general upbringing as a kid. Do you know what I mean? My mum and dad weren't together from the earliest times of what I can remember, so I was seeing my dad quite irregularly. It was never like every weekend or whatever. It was just I saw him when I saw him, kind of thing. But I don't think anything about that or anything like that. I did get to see him a lot in my later years of life. As I got into secondary school, I remember writing my first song when I was 13. I was really proud at the time because I'd wrote an actual song, and then basically what actually happened was I started writing love songs, and my music teacher managed to see one in one of my music classes when I was in secondary school. And at first she was really excited because she really liked them and she thought it was really good. And then she actually asked me to sing them. So she kind of gave me that, I don't know, I'd say that false hope that I could maybe actually be a singer. Until I actually recorded the song. I recorded me singing the love song that I'd wrote. And she played it back. And she didn't say it in so many words, but I could see it in her eyes and her reaction that it was like, yeah, you've got good writing skills, but your singing is awful. But two other guys who I knew who was at my school were MCs, and I didn't know it at the time. I got on with them and whatever. And they said to me, have you ever wrote lyrics before? Have you ever thought of being an MC or anything like that? And I was just listening to them one day on my lunch break. Like was in the music rooms, and they was just spitting lyrics and whatnot. And I really liked it, and I was really impressed with them. Like I really enjoyed it. So within that week, I got my first lyric book, and then I started writing some lyrics, and I just loved it, to be honest with you. I mean, I think my first lyrics sucked, to be honest with you. In fact, yeah, I remember them telling me like, yeah, you're not very good, to be honest. But it was my first lyric and whatnot. But I just loved the experience, to be honest with you. So that's where the actual music thing came about. And eventually they joined me into their little clique, and then we joined and made the Top Shotters crew. I just remember how good that felt and how much I just enjoyed it. And then obviously that was just in my head from there. It was just like, yeah, I love music, and this is definitely what I would want to do. The other two guys weren't really as into it as I was. I'm not sure why, because they started before me, but I don't know if they knew how hard the journey is with music, but they wasn't really as interested as pushing it as much as I was. So obviously eventually we kind of broke up, so I kind of went off on my own thing from there. I remember as a teen walking home, because I was really trying to make this music thing work. I'd actually walk home from college, so I'd get a bus to college to make sure I got there on time. But in terms of getting home, I'd actually walk from college to home, which was about a 50-minute walk. And I was doing that to basically save money, because every like week or two I'd be going to London for music seminars. Come rain or shine, every week, whenever it was, I'd be there. It took me a lot of saving up to do, because when you're in college, all I had was EMA money and basically money that I could save for myself. So as I say, I was cutting corners everywhere. Sometimes I wouldn't eat to save a bit of money. Sometimes I'd just walk home. Just little things. I wouldn't maybe go out to the cinema when some people was all going out. Just little things that I cut out, and just so I could have the money to go. And I did that for about 2 years. It was a good experience though, because I met a lot of people in the industry, and it also got me to do some tours. So for that, it was actually a valuable experience. Coming from an area where I do though, sometimes you do have some bad experiences. I'm not trying to say I come from the worst kind of area, but at the same time, it has got that street element to it. I'm not exactly from the best kind of place either. And I remember in my teenage years, I actually almost got killed. I almost got stabbed by some guy who was basically junked up on coke. Luckily, I was okay and whatnot. But I'm not gonna lie, that was an experience that like changed my life, because I became very paranoid from there in my life, and it kind of turned me on the wrong path, because I started getting into a lot of trouble then. I started getting into a lot of fights. I was doing a lot of bad things. I was basically just on the wrong path. I remember basically going around and doing shows and doing tours from locally, doing the network seminars in London. They got me some tours around the West Midlands, sometimes some shows in London. And again, it was a really great experience. I loved every minute of it. And yeah, I just loved performing. Do you know what I mean? I was writing tracks like all the time. I was making CDs and trying to sell them. Just putting stuff out there to try and get it on radio and things like that. And I just remember how great it actually felt when I had the crowd rocking with me to my music and whatnot. And again, as I say, it was just that thing that just made me feel, yeah, I want this forever if I can. Eventually, unfortunately, the music kind of started to slow down. I was still making songs and everything. I was still doing all that stuff, but just not a lot of stuff was really happening for me. I was still trying to get stuff out. I was trying to get on radio. I was trying to meet new people to get my music out there. And things really did go quiet. And I'll be honest with you, like, because of the whole thing with the street stuff, I started to go into a state of depression and actually became suicidal. I was just getting a bit tired of life, and I was getting scared, because like the music thing was becoming a thing where I wasn't sure if it was going to work out, and it really scared me, because I'd really put a lot into it. I'd really put everything into trying to be an artist. I remember like I'd just be sometimes at the weekends like in my room with alcohol and a laptop, and I'd just be getting wrecked, and just watching like videos of my favorite artists, and just looking at different radio stations and things, and just trying to think of a way that I could get through and get people to hear me. Eventually what happened, because things got slowed down and I was trying to move away from the whole, the street life, and I was trying to get over all that, I managed to get a job. And I was happy, because I thought, what, this should keep me occupied. And I thought, if anything, I've now got money to do more stuff with music, because I can afford to pay to get a video done now, for example. I'm going to actually be able to pay to get things done as well. Luckily, what happened was I met somebody who worked at the same building as where I did, and I got to know the guy through the work and whatnot. And he was like, yeah, I do music and whatnot. And I checked him out, and I was like, oh my god, like, he's really well known. He's really good as well. You know what I mean? And he actually took me under his wing, and he really helped me. I owe a lot to that guy, because he really did go out of his way to help me. I got to the point where I actually made my first official CD release to be brought out to the public. So, you know, it was going to be Python, the first CD, the introduction, the promo basically. And I remember I had a release date, the 26th of April 2010. And basically everything was really going well. And then it was about a week before my dad got killed. As you can imagine, you know, that really just, it really just messed me up, and I just got lost for a while. I just really wasn't sure what I was gonna do. I wasn't sure where to turn. It just really sidetracked me. But you know, I took 2 or 3 days just to, you know, really concentrate on things and you know, get my head in the right place. And I decided in the end that I was going to go ahead and still release the CD for the set date, if anything, in memory to my father. So, you know, the CD did still get released, but obviously, as you can imagine, things got a lot harder for me dealing with my dad's death, and that became, you know, a difficult time for me. Eventually, you know, what happened was the music CD went down well. But I did some videos, and for some reason they weren't very receptive, and because of that, like, people weren't really quiet, and there was being a bit funny about working with me, because I wasn't really getting a huge fan base, and the people, when they do videos, they want it to get views and things like that. So because of that, I was in a position where I literally had nowhere to turn again. Like, nobody was really willing to work with me. I didn't know what to do. I ended up getting my own camera. And I was going to work with my friend who's a media entrepreneur, and you know, we did get working, but unfortunately, due to different lifestyle clashes, you know, he couldn't really be free when I needed him to get stuff done. So that made things a little bit difficult. So that quietened down as well. So again, I was just in a position where I was like, you know what, you know, maybe this isn't gonna work for me, you know. And again, like I said, I was really unhappy because I tried so hard and put everything into it. I remember eventually I saw a blog. I was watching something. I can't remember, some kind of film, and I don't know how this came about, but I saw a Street Fighter blog about a film. I think it was the Chun-Li version of the Street Fighter film. And I saw this guy just ranting about it, and I just found it really funny, and I saw like a lot of people was talking about it and whatnot. And I thought, oh, like, you know, that's really like creative, you know what I mean? I thought it's quite amusing, and like, he's actually got a lot of people, you know, giving him feedback and talking about it and whatnot. So then I thought, well, I've got this camera just sitting here that I've had, you know, we've not really put it to use, you know, why don't I just start doing some videos and putting them on YouTube and just do stuff like that? And that's what it started off as. I just started doing a couple videos, you know, about just general things. And then I remember, like, I was in the gym at one point, because I started going into the gym, and that was something that was trying to help me with my life and keep me focused, and, you know, just trying to take my mind off what was going on and whatnot. I was in the gym, and like, a lyric came into my head, and the lyric had a reference to EastEnders in it. So at first it was going to just be a lyric where, you know, I write a lyric and then it just happens to have an EastEnders reference in there. But then the next lyric that came to my head was EastEnders again. And then I thought, okay, you know what, you know, let's just see what I can do with this as an EastEnders lyric. Let's just base the whole thing around EastEnders. And I did it, and a lot of the stuff that was coming to me was stuff that was going on at the time. And I don't know, I just looked at it at the end and I was like, yo, that's okay, man. I thought that's quite creative. So I thought, you know what, I'll just put it out there. You know what I mean? I got the EastEnders beat and I just rapped over it and I put it out there. And that's what basically created the EastEnders rap roundups. And, you know, it started off like, it got like, I think it was 12 views, the very first video. And I was just like, oh my God, like 12 people have actually watched this and actually enjoyed it. Like, nobody slagged it off or anything. Everybody's, you know, been okay with it. Like, that's amazing. And it was only 12 views, but to me it was like, I couldn't believe it, because at least people had watched it. You know what I mean? I was just happy that nobody had slagged it off and people had watched it. So yeah, I thought, you know what, each week I was watching it, and then lyrics were just coming to my head. So I thought, you know what, I'll just do it as much as I can. I'll just start doing these roundups of what I see of EastEnders and do them as much as I can. And that created, as I say, the EastEnders rap roundups. And then, you know, lo and behold, the next thing I know, I've got the EastEnders cast who are, you know, saying I'm really talented and how good I am, and they're sharing it around for people, you know. Other people have started saying, oh, I'm so good at rapping and whatnot. And, you know, it was just really, to me, that was like such an amazing feeling, because after everything I'd been through to get to that position and actually start getting praise for what I do, you know, I can literally say it like saved me, you know what I mean? Because I was in such a dark place at the time, and then, you know, when all this came out, it just made me really happy. So yeah, as it stands, I'm doing this YouTube thing now. That's where I am right now. And you know, as I do this blog, I currently have 24 subscribers. So I don't really have the big happily ever after that some people may have, because you know, a lot of the people who I've seen who've done these during my lives have like 1 million subscribers or 770,000 subscribers, and you know, I've currently got 24. But I would just like to say to the 24 people who have subscribed, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you really don't know what this actually means to me. And to the people who may subscribe in the future, I do want to thank you as well, because it's you guys who are helping me wake up every day and making me feel, you know, like I've got something to live for, like I've got something to bring out, you know what I mean? Like, one of the things that I really look forward to now in life is, you know, writing the next rap roundup and doing the next video and putting it out there. And you know, I'm not getting a huge amount of views at the moment, but I hope in time it will grow. You know, that's the plan. I'm in a bit of a dangerous position now, because it's kind of all or nothing with this. But you know, sometimes you just have to follow the dream, man. Sometimes you have to follow your heart and follow the dream. So I'm hoping that this is gonna work out. You know what I mean? Fingers crossed. This is the beginning of something beautiful. Guys, I'd just like to say thank you for watching this. I'm sorry if it was kind of long, but I really do appreciate you all listening to me and, you know, taking in what I've said. And yeah, as I say, thank you to everybody out there who's been supporting what I do, whether it's the rap roundups or the comedy videos, whatever it is I've done. And I really appreciate it, so thank you, and I do hope that you all continue to support. But until next time, guys, it's Python signing out. Peace.